Hey there everyone, it's Kathy Champion and you're back here at my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. So glad that you joined me today. I have a very informative project to hopefully teach you how to use something that is brand new in our annual catalog. Before we get started, I do want to say thank you so much for joining me. It is my hope that you will learn something new today, something that you can take with you in your craft room, and also introduce you to a project that, or a product that may have been very much overlooked in our annual catalog. Before I go any further, I do want to say that if you shop with me at my store, and I am asking only if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you're currently working with. If you do have a demonstrator that you are working with, please continue to work with her or him. But if you are new to Stampin' Up! Or you just have your demonstrator left for whatever reason, I would love to be able to help you with all of your Stampin' Up! Needs. So you can actually visit my site by going into the description below this video. There will be a link there and you can go over and shop from my store there. There's also some other links that you will find there as well. So thanks so much for doing that. And also, if you spend $50 with me before shipping and tax, and you use my host code, which you will see pop up right about here, then you will receive a free gift from me. That's a thank you gift from me. It will be a Stampin' Up! Product. It will be either some ribbons, some jewels, paper, maybe a retired stamp set. It will be something that you will definitely be able to use. I do apologize for my fan. I know you can see it up in the reflection. Hopefully once we take it off of here and we're actually working our project, it will not be as distracting. But it is warm in my craft room today, so I do have my ceiling fan on, so that's why you're seeing. I'm going to go ahead and flip to my page in my catalog, what I want to show you, and that is right here. This is the dies that we're going to use, and it's called Give It a Whirl, and these are not associated with any stamp set, which means that they will work with any stamp set that you have that will work in the perimeter of the stamps. Now I'm going to pull them off, and I am going to pull over a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to show you the components. These are your two main pieces. This cuts your the outline for your card, and this is actually your wheel that makes the mechanism of Give It a Whirl. And here is a little sample card that I made earlier, and if you notice, you have this little wheel that you can turn, and there's a little plate of cupcakes, and then you can turn it over and there's the happy birthday wish, and you can put anything in there that you like. Any stamp set that will fit in that window, you can customize this die set for any and all of your Stampin' Up! Needs. And as you can see, the working mechanism is all under here, and I do have it raised up with some foam tape or dimensionals, and it's just a really nice interactive card. This would be so cute for a birthday card for a kid. You could put some cartoon characters, or some little fun things like the little turtle. Just so many different little things that we could do, and we're going to experiment with that. Today what I want to do is I want to teach you the working mechanisms of this die set, because it doesn't come with instructions. There's nowhere that it tells you how to use this, so it is a trial and error type deal. But I am going to show you that your components, your main components, are these dies right here. These are your main elements: the front for your card base, your wheel that works behind your card base, and then your different pieces that will fit in. And these actually hook in like this to either give you that shape or a heart shape. And when you cut these, you can make them work by putting them in. Now, these pieces will be cut on this piece, not on this piece. But it does have almost like a little hook where you can clamp that on. It doesn't hold, so I would suggest to use a piece of tape or something. But you can cut out, like I cut out of the front of my card, this piece for this one right here. You could also do the circle. Now the circle also comes with this beautiful little decorative edge that you can decorate around that circle, which is super, super cute. And so, you know, there are a lot of possibilities. And then you also have this little square that is very nice because you can put a square up there and actually get the sentiment to come through there, which is another element that will take your card to the top. So again, like I said, here's your edges or your little pieces to make your windows with. These are your different windows. This is your wheel that spins everything around, and this is your card base. So what you want to do today, what I want to do, I am going to teach you today on how to make this mechanism work. So we're going to do it all on white, and the reason for that is because I just want this to be a teaching video to show you how to cut your components. Now the first thing we want to do is cut this piece out. Now for this particular piece, you're going to want to use the thick Whisper White, the thick basic white cardstock. And even with using it, you may want to cut two of them and glue them together because you want this to be extremely thick. The reason for that is your mechanism is going to get a lot of wear and tear because people are going to want to spin it, and you don't want it to be something that's so flimsy. Like a standard piece of cardstock is just a little too flimsy for that. So you want something that's got a little bit of weight and body to it. So I'm going to use the thick basic white, and I'm going to center this over just like that. And I'm going to actually use one of these little flags to hold this down. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to do it just to kind of keep everything in place. And I'm going to bring over my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because I want to show you when you are doing a square flat edge die, you always want to run it through at an angle, and you can see where I have ran that through quite a bit. You can see the cuts and stuff on my plate, my new plates, y'all. Yes, Stampin' Up! Finally got the new plates in, so I'm so glad that I went ahead and got 2 sets this time, so I won't run into that. I was so afraid my last ones were going to break before I got a chance to get them in, but they didn't. I saved them because you never know when you might have to go back to those. If one of these broke, I would have those to fall back on. Remember what I told you about keeping your plates from warping? If you will flip the top plate, always dedicate one plate as your cut plate, and these are the number 3 plates. Dedicate one of your number 3s as a cut plate and one as your cover plate, and rotate this one every time. Flip it side to side and up and down, but always flip it over in some direction, and that will ensure these from warping. And this bottom plate, you only want to turn it over when it starts to bow up in the middle right here. So if you can press it down and it has any give to it, flip it over as soon as you notice that. So I'm going to lay that on that number 3, my cut plate, and I'm going to turn it just a tiny bit of an angle, just like that. And I'm going to put my cover plate over it, which is the other number 3, and then I'm just going to go ahead and crank this through. And if you had put this through on a straight edge, it would have had a really heavy pop and crack to it. But by taking it at an angle, it doesn't put as much stress on your plates. So I'm going to take that one off, and while I've got this here, now I know I took that off like that, so I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to take another piece of my thick basic white cardstock. Let me lay that down. And I've got another piece of this, and I'm going to lay it down right there. And our wheel mechanism, and I do have a little piece of cardstock right there stuck in. I picked that out. I'm going to lay that down right there at the top. Put my cover plate over it. And this one I'm not taping down because I don't have to really worry about it moving or anything. And I'm just going to crank that one through. Now we've got both pieces of those cut. I'm going to lay this over to the side, just like that. I'm going to lay my die back over here, turning that plate over, and put this back together. And let's move that back to the side. And then let's get these pieces over here so we can look at them. It looks like I got a little bit of dirt on that from my plates. I'm just going to take my eraser and erase that. Just like that, because this is the piece we're going to stamp on. And I don't know if you can see those indentations, but if you look at the spokes on this piece, it actually puts those indentations of those spokes right there. So, and it also punches your nice little hole right there in the middle. That hole is very important because that's what you're going to put your spinner, attach your spinner to. So let's go ahead and take these pieces off. And I saved my little flags and I use them until I can't use them anymore. And we're just going to pop this out just like that. And this also has a stitch line across the middle, which is this bar right here. And that is perfect because this is going to help you line everything up. So every point that you have a place is there for a reason. So I'm going to throw this little frame piece away. I don't need that. Now you have these two pieces. This is what comes together, and those two holes line up. But we don't want to do anything with that yet. What we want to do is decide what stamp set we want to use. So I thought, and how cute would it be to grab our little turtle stamp set. So let me find our little turtle, and that's called Turtle Friends. And what's so cute about this is we have the bird, we have a turtle going in both directions. We got one with his eye closed, one with his eyes open. We got the bigger turtle that we can use on the outside of the card. And we also have some little sentiments in here and some little hearts and some things that I think will work really well with this particular die set. So, and this is a photopolymer stamp set, which is great because we can literally see what we're stamping. And as you can see, that little turtle will work really good right there. So what if we do this? Let's do our turtle. How about Friends Forever and our little bird? So let's do the bird and Friends Forever. Oops. There we go. And this one says hello little one, and I don't think I want that. That would be really cute if you were making it as a baby welcoming card, but we're not. So we're going to use these three. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Momento black because I'm going to want to color these. So I'm going to grab the Momento black, and I want to grab some stamp blocks that these little images will fit on. So for one of them, I want this little bitty one, and I think my bird will fit perfectly on this one, but I do want to straighten him up because if I have a straight stamp set or a straight stamp on my block, I am more than apt to get it straight on my card. I also want those little hearts because I think those little hearts are just simply adorable, and I think they will play well on there. I think I'm going to pick them up on the back side of my stamp. That's the good thing about our stamp blocks. You can use both sides, which is great. So you get double the wear out of your stamp blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up my little turtle on this one. And I'm going to use this longer one to get my little sentiment on. Oops, I didn't get that straight on there at all. So I'm going to line it up right here. And then pick it up. There we go. Alright, so now we're ready to go ahead and stamp these. So I want to look and make sure that I'm getting right in the middle of that, so I know that this area right there is going to be. Now the other thing you're going to want to do is choose which one of these you want to use. So I am going to lay this over top. I think I want to use my circle. By using this piece right here as a guide, you can kind of get an idea whether your stamped image is going to fit. So you need to decide which one. Like this one, this would not fit. So you need to find the piece that will best work for your stamped images. This is my largest image that I plan on stamping, so I know if this one will work, everything else will. And I really want to do the circle, so the last two cards that I played with, I used this piece. So I really want to try something a little bit different. I love the heart. I think this would be beautiful to use at Valentine's Day. But we are going to use the circle today. So I know that my turtle will fit in that area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my little hole. Let me zoom y'all in just a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing. If you notice, that little hole will line up perfectly there. I'm going to hold that, and then I'm going to take my pencil, and this is a very soft lead mechanical pencil, and all I want to do is just put a little edge around here like that to let me know not to go any further on either direction than that. That will help me to get my turtle right in the right diameter, or the area where I need it to go. So I'm going to use my Momento Tuxedo black ink, and I'm going to ink my turtle up. And since this is photopolymer, I'm going to bring over my Stampin' Pierce mat, and I'm going to put that right about there, ink it good again, and then I am going to put this down right about here. I should have went a little bit over to the right, just a hair more. Let's cut another piece. I think I want to make sure that I'm over a little bit further than that. So I'm going to grab another piece of my cardstock, and I am going to grab my wheel. I just want to make sure that I'm getting that in the perfect placement. So I'm going to crank that through, and I'm not going to bring my wheel over for this because y'all have seen me cut. And I think here we go. And I'm going to just brush this off a little bit, knock out my little middle piece, just like that. And for whatever reason, it is picking up, well, that looks like just like paper dust. That's good. Everything else looks good on there. So I am going to put that like a Y. And again, I'm going to take this piece and lay it down. Just like that. And I am going to hold it right there, and then I'm going to circle like that. Now we'll grab our turtle and we'll ink him up again. I thought it's better to be safe than sorry, so I would rather re-ink and recut than to have that one off after I get it attached. So let's go over top of this like so. And stamp. And I'm just going to hold that in place and let that ink transfer. Beautiful. So once I get everything stamped all the way around, so we're going to do our turtle first, and then we're going to do our little bird. Now the bird is going to be totally black, so you want to make sure that you get him completely inked up. And I want to make sure that I've got my Y's right there, and I'll put him down just a little bit because I want to do the, I'll tell you what, let's use our little round circle again. Just like that, and I want to stamp him down to one side, or maybe just down to the bottom, just like that. And I'm holding him because I want to make sure that all of that ink transfers beautifully. Now I am going to stamp the hearts because I want the hearts to be right over top of him. And again, these are nice solid images. You know what? We could do the hearts in red. I think that would be much prettier. So let's clean this stamp. And I'm just using my Simply Chamois, and I keep this damp. Just make sure that you let this dry out overnight so it doesn't mildew, and then you can just re-wet it the next morning. These wash up very well in just dish soap and water. I think they are wonderful asset to have in your craft room, and they are available in our catalog, so if you want to grab one of those, and as well as the stamp case, you can buy these little stamp cases, which are great for any of your embellishments or whatever. You can keep things in there like that. Plus your paper pumpkin, you can make these for your paper pumpkin stamps, which is another great thing. But anyway, here is my real red ink. If I thought about it, I would have done him in blue, and we would have a little bluebird there, but that's okay. That's okay. It's okay if it's a blackbird. We can do that. So I'm going to stamp these hearts like right over top of our little birdie. How cute is that? Now you might want to check, and look, that's going to work perfectly. Okay, so we got that done. So now we're going to turn it, and we're going to do that sentiment. So I am going to definitely come over. I did have one of my subscribers that said she was very glad that I cleaned my stamps after using them. And I know many of the demonstrators do clean their stamps. They just cut that out of their video. But I usually don't, because as she said, it is a good habit and practice to get into, and that is to clean your stamps after each use. So I'm going to use Forever Friends, and I'm wondering if I want to do this in a greeny apple green. The reason I say that is I'm going to do my turtle in a green, and I would love for this to kind of coordinate. So maybe we'll do Forever Friends in maybe even a different color. How about if we do the polished pink? That'd be pretty. And when you are working with the classic ink pads, you do not see how pigmented they are. You do not want to rock your stamp, or that's what will happen. You will get ink on the edge of your stamp. These are very juicy ink pads, so you don't need a whole lot of stamping, just a little bit. So I'm going to turn this around, and then I'm just going to bring this right here and stamp straight down and straight up. That's cute. Now the only thing that we need to do is erase our little circle that we drew with our pencil. I love this polished pink. This is one of our new in colors, and I know they're on low inventory because I checked just a little bit ago. And so if you're interested in getting the ink pads, I would say grab those before they're gone, because they are on low inventory. Hopefully Stampin' Up! Is getting more of their stuff in, and as restrictions lift and what have you, I'm hoping that we won't have as many of our items on back order as there is right now. Okay, so that is good. So we got that right there done. So now all we need to do is grab, let's see what we can do with our stamp set. We have our little darker color there. I'll tell you what, let's color him in using the Greeny Apple Green. And I'm going to grab both my light and dark, and these are our Stampin' Blends. And it's hard to tell the Greeny Apple Green which is light and which is dark. Now I can tell that this one's a little bit lighter than this one. This is one of the ones that is one of the harder ones to tell, but you can, I guess once you worked with them for a while, you definitely can tell. So I am going to take my bullet tip. It has a brush tip like that. Focus, there we go. And we have the bullet tip. I'm going to use the bullet tip because we have got some very small little intricate places to color. And I'm just going to go in and color this really pretty. Just like that. Oh, look at his little tail. We don't want to miss that. I think I'll go back with the brush tip and do the shell part. I don't want to get his eyeball. I just want to get around his face. And you can see that how this tip works much better for your little small areas. So let's put the cap on that one, and let's grab our brush tip, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You can color so much faster with this tip because it's just a wider. But you do have to be careful, and remember that alcohol moves, so sometimes it will bleed outside your line, so you want to be careful when you go to your line. I say come back from your line just a little bit and see if the ink moves toward the line. You can always put it back down. Look at that. Is that not adorable? Now we're going to stamp his shell on with a lighter colored ink. I mean a darker colored ink. And I think for his shell, I'm going to grab the Garden Green. Let's see if Garden Green's what we want to use. And I'm going to use this piece that we misstamped on earlier. And we're going to stamp his shell on there and see if that's the color that I want to use. So there's his little tiny shell. So stinking cute. And I'm going to put these stamps back in. So I'm going to stick one down here and our little hearts down here. I love this new packaging, the way that they go into the case itself. Just makes it so easy and so nice. So I am going to ink that up, and I'm going to come over top and do that number. You know, I'm thinking I might want to do the Evening Evergreen, which is the new dark green. We could try Shaded Spruce. The Shaded Spruce is dark, but not quite as dark as the Evening Evergreen. Let's try this. Okay. Now it looks like I got ink puddling in the corner of one of these little lines. So I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool and see if it's an issue with my stamp, and I don't think it is. There, let's try that again. That's perfect. Okay, so just kiss the ink, and then I am going to come over top of him just like that and stamp it down. That looks so cute. I love that. And I think that even the Shaded Spruce was really the right color for this. So then I want to grab a brown, and I'm going to grab my dark cinnamon cider, and I'm just going to go in and do the tips of his feet. Just right there, and a little bit on his eye. And we are going to call our turtle done. Love that. Okay. So now I think we are getting this together. Now if you want to put, if you are one of those people that likes to decorate, and we all do, your card, this is where you will want to put on your some colored cardstock. So if you wanted to cut a piece to go on top of this, this is the time to do it. Whether you wanted to do it down here or what, you would put your colored cardstock on, glue it down, and then you're going to cut your corresponding piece out, like right there. So let's look and see what color we might want to use for our card. And I'm looking for something that's going to be a pretty green, maybe. And you know what? This pack of paper, this is the Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper, and this is so pretty. There are so many beautiful colors in here, but you know what I'm liking? I'm loving the green. Now, this piece I want to keep, so I'm not going to cut that piece. But I am going to look in here for a piece of green that I won't mind cutting. Oh, I love that blue too. Oh, that blue would be so pretty. Looks like clouds, doesn't it? Wonder how our little turtle and friends would be on that piece. Oh, this is gorgeous too. This would be pretty. That is beautiful. I really wanted the green to kind of showcase my turtle. So, you know what? I'm going to save the blue. And I think I'm going to cut a piece of this. So let's bring our trimmer out. And I think I want it going this way. So always look at that before you cut your piece. And I know that I need this piece to be let's do 4 inches, and that way we know we'll have enough. So let's cut that at 4. And I think this way we're going to need to take it about to 5 1/4. Yep, I think 5 1/4 will get us what we need. I'm going to go over just maybe 5 3/8. Just a little bit bigger than 5 1/4. And then what I want to do is, let's grab our mechanism. And we're just going to lay it down on top of this paper, just like this. And let's hold that down, and then let's tape. Tape our pieces, just like that. Just like that. Now I'm going to take this over to my die machine. And I'm going to turn that just to an angle a little bit, just like we did before, and I'm going to cover it, and we're going to crank it through. And as you can see, we got this piece cut, and this is just going to help to decorate our piece a little bit more. So let's take that off. Take that off. I love those little post-it flags. They just work so beautifully for putting them down to hold your dies. Hopefully Stampin' Up! Will be getting the magnetic plate again before too much longer. I'm sure they're in the process of working that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down some Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to use the plus, and I want to make sure that this is going to adhere all the way across, and making sure that I'm getting enough of adhesive to hold this in place, and especially around here. And now I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to line this up. So there, I'm going to press it to this edge, and now I'm going to work it. I'm going to work it this way. Let's see if we can do it from corner. to corner. That's looking good. And to corner. That looks real good. And we didn't compromise our hole at all. And if you have any white showing, you can use a pair of long scissors, and I would suggest using a pair of long shears and just trim that off. You could actually put this in your trimmer if you wanted to and trim it. I just like to take my scissors and just whack that little bit off. If I'm off just the tiniest of a hair, to me this is the easiest way to trim that off. So I'm going to press that from the back really good. And now we are ready to cut our circle out of right there. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your circle over top, lining it up perfectly. Get it nice and straight. And then this is where you're going to use definitely want to use these on this piece. You're going to need something to adhere that down, so when you run it through, you're going to get a really good adhesion. Now you're cutting through an extra step of paper, so I am going to run this back and then back again and back, because we're cutting through adhesive and a thick cardstock and a designer series paper. Very gently lift those up and press that out beautifully. So that all worked well for us. So now we're ready to put this back here, and this is going to go just like that. And then you'll be able to turn this. Let's put one of our little brads in. And I've got, these are not Stampin' Up. Now if you don't have brads, you can purchase them. They're on the catalog on page 57. I will show you where they're at, so if you need to find them. I'll also link the brads, what did I say, 76? 57. 57. 55, 56, 57. There we go. There are the round and square brads, and it shows them right here. And as you can see, here's some that are decorated in different ways that you can use this card base on, and it's so stinking cute. Look how cute that is. Love it, love it, love it. This is a really cute stamp set. I have not gotten that one yet, but we are using this one, and I love this one as well. So I am going to grab a green one, because I really want it to kind of, it's not going to camouflage it completely, but there are ways to cover this up if you don't like the brad or the color brad you have, and we will definitely cover some of those. But like I said, I wanted to show you how to make this mechanism work, and then you can fly with this and make so many different cards and different greetings and what have you. But look at that. There's our turtle. There is our Forever Friends. And then there's our little bird. Before we do any further, I want to do a little orange on my bird's beak. I think he needs a little orange beak. So I'm going to use that bullet tip and just do that. And then let's go ahead and stick this back on. Now once you get this piece on, you want to clamp this down. And like I said, all I did was pushed my brad. Let me come back here. I think I was out of the camera range when I did that. So I'm going to show you one more time how I did that. What you're going to do is take this piece where your hole is, and you're going to feed your brad through that little hole like that. And then take this piece and feed your brad through that. just like that. And then once you get that down, you're going to just open your brad up to close it down. You don't want it to be really tight. You want to make it where it will still move, just like so. And then we're going to decorate the front of this. But if you wanted to stop at this point, I'm going to zoom everybody out just a hair. This is where you would put this piece onto a card base. You could put this on a white card base. You could do it on that cinnamon cider, would be really cute. You could do this on a crumb cake, or you could do it on another piece of green. There's just so many ways that you could do this. When you get ready to put this down, you want to use some foam tape, Stampin' Dimensionals, or foam sheets. Let's see, I don't think I have foam sheets. No, I have these. You could use these, but I would suggest whatever you use to make it double high. So if you are going to use dimensionals like these, I would put down one. I'd take the backer off, and I would grab a second one and put that on top. Give yourself 2 layers of whatever adhesive you use to help give you the amount of space that you need this to sit up off of your card base, so that you can have this mechanism to work totally free. So let's go ahead. I'm going to actually use some of the pieces that are left over on this piece, and we've got lots of them. So let's just pull these off and put that down. And I'm going to grab my snips. I'm sure they're here on my desk somewhere, because I have got a mess over here, y'all. Do y'all make a mess like that when you're crafting? I'm sure you do. I think we all do. I'm going to snip these pieces right here. And up here. These might give me enough of what I need. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I want to double these pieces up. Even though these are my scrap pieces, I'm still going to double them just like I did my other pieces. And you know, I say don't throw these away, because these work just as good as the actual dimensional. They are sticky, and they're going to give you the same amount of adhesive as anything else. So let's put that on there. This one can go right here. And then we're going to need a strip. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab this and this, maybe to here. And I'm going to put this strip right about here. And we'll pull that off, and I'm going to grab the strip from this side. And see what I mean about not wasting? And we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Snip it, peel it, and stick it. I love being able to use up everything off of one of these pieces. So there, we got those. So now we just need some up here on the top, and I'm just going to put one here and one here. And then we'll put one more on top. And one more on top. I think we're ready now. I'm going to grab, I think I want to do a piece of crumb cake. I'm thinking a piece of crumb cake would be nice to put this on. Or we could do that beautiful pink. Or what about black? Black would be, black always, everything looks good on black. Let's do a black piece. Let's grab a basic black. And here we go. And I'm going to cut this in half and make a just a basic cardstock. So I'm going to cut it on the 11-inch side to the top of my trimmer. And I'm going to cut it at 5 1/2. And then I'm going to turn it to the 8 1/2-inch side, and I'm going to score it in half at 4 1/4. Let's get that cut blade out of the way. This is why I love this trimmer, because you can cut and score all in the same time. Not that it means that every card is good scored there. There's sometimes that you will run into a card that you will need to make it a little bit different, and you might need to have a lot of score marks on, and that's definitely when you need a scoreboard. So I'm going to grab my, oops, wrong one. I'm going to grab my bone folder, and I am just going to press this down just like that. And now this is ready to adhere on here. Now if you want it over closer to the edge there, you can do that, or you can bring it back to about here. Another thing that the die set comes with are the little pieces. Let's see, what did I do with the rest of my dies? We have these little arrows that will actually emboss. These ones will emboss on the side here. So you can tell someone whether you want them to go up or down. So you can put that like that. Right about, what you want to do is line up where you want that to be. And I am going to put it right there, all the way to the edge. Again, we're going to tape it down with one of these. And oops, that didn't work too good, did it? Let's get it back in place, and then we'll see if I got it in the right place. What happened is I taped it to my desk rather than, yeah, it needs to go up just a hair, or maybe down, right there. That looks good. All right, and I'm going to put another piece right here to make sure I'm holding it in place, and I'm just going to run this through. I am going to run it, this is a double card base, so I'm going to make sure I open it like this and run it through so I don't get the impression on the other side of my card. And there we go. Now we have that little thumbnail place there that has an arrow. See the arrow pointing down? So now we can put this like that. And this would leave you a place over here if you wanted to put something else, a strip of white or a strip of the green. However you would see fit to do that. I am going to come in with my snips, and because on that white, this is like a fly in buttermilk. Did y'all ever hear that saying when you were a kid? Which just means it sticks out like a sore thumb. So I am going to come along this side and trim that off just a little tiny bit as well. Just enough to get that white out of there. There we go. I think that looks much better. So now this piece is going to go on here like so. Still think I need a hair more off of this. See if I can get those scissors underneath the edge of that. There we go. I don't want to cut my green paper. I just want to get that little tiny bit of white that's showing under there, and I think we got it that time. So I'll tell you what, we're just going to put this down like this, and we're going to do some decorating on the front. So let's pull up all of our backers. And remember, we've got double backers on here. Every place that there's a backer, it's doubled. So I am going to be very careful taking these off. And I have got a little bit of a mess over here, so you know what? I'm going to rake all of this stuff over into my hand and into my trash. And then we're going to turn this over and very strategically place your card onto your card base, just like that. And see how that's raised up? And that will allow you to turn your mechanism, just like that. And now we need to decorate the front of our card a little bit. So I think what I want to do is I want to grab another piece of white, and I'm going to use this little piece of leftover that I had from where I cut out one of the circles, and I want to grab that larger turtle. So I'm going to grab my small one and put him back in, and I'm going to grab the big one, and I want to stamp him right about here. I think that'll be good. And do I want to do, it's time to celebrate. That would be cute on him, wouldn't it? So let's do this. Let's stamp him in black. And I need a smaller stamp block than any of these I've got out. Let's see. I need a bigger one than that, a different shaped one than that, a bigger one than this, and smaller than these. How about that? You never can have too many stamp blocks when you are doing a video like this. You need a variety. So I'm just going to grab him like so. And I'm going to push that up where you can see my little turtle. And I'm using my Momento Tuxedo Black. And the reason for that is because I may want to color him in just a little bit. So let's stamp him right about, bring that mat in so we can have that little cushion. There we go. He looks cute. So again, I'm going to come over and rub that stamp off. And I want to set this, it's time to celebrate. And we're going to put that right into his shell. And this one, I think we want to do it in the dark green. So I think for this, I am going to grab that Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to be very careful just to tap the ink. And I'm going to hover over just like that. And then once I know that I'm lined up, I'm going to commit and stamp. Isn't that cute? It's time to celebrate. So cute. I love that. And we're going to go back in and color that as well with some light green. I think that'll be so cute. So let's grab my Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to grab the light and dark again. I'm going to move my mat, and I'm just going to color directly here. And this is my light, and this is the color that I want to do. I'm hoping that that's, you know, I bet the alcohol is going to move that color. I'll tell you what, let's color his body the dark. Let's color his body first. And this bundle, Turtle Friends, comes with a punch. So we are going to be able to punch him out. not have to fussy cut. That's always great when we don't have to fussy cut. And you see how it bled on the outside? I'm going to show you a couple ways we can fix that. We have a color lifter that comes with your alcohol markers, or you can buy to go with your alcohol markers. And it is, I'm telling you what, if you got alcohol markers, you need that color lifter. It comes with a white tip, a white cap on it. But I'm going to show you how marvelous it is. This is the color lifter. And it just, the color on it just says color lifter. Oh, my camera's not wanting to focus today for some reason. But anyway, it does say color lifter. So I'm going to use the bullet tip, and I'm going to just push that color back up. It's almost like an eraser. And it will clean that line up beautifully. A little bit right there. And that will dissipate and that color will be gone. Then we can come back in and just go right around here. Just like that, and color that back in. And I'm going to come back here and do this back leg. And then I'm going to go in here and grab his little tail. And I'm going to go back in with that color lifter again, and I'm just going to try to clean that up just a hair. And hopefully the ink, and I wasn't thinking when I used the classic Stampin' ink that this is usually not good to use alcohol markers over, because it is a dye ink. But we're going to try it and hope we don't get away, we don't have too much smudging. I'm sorry, it's a pigment ink, and you really need a dye ink, because pigment ink sits up on top of the paper and a dye ink dyes into the paper. So our Momento ink is a dye ink, and that's why it's safe for our alcohol markers. So there. Lots of green, but that's okay. I like him. Now let's do his toes with the cinnamon cider. Just like that. And I think I'm going to grab my birthday chick dies, and we are going to punch out the happy birthday, and we might do that out of the black because I think that black will be really cute. So let me grab my punch, and here is my little punch, and we're going to need to put him in this way. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut right across here. And then we can drop him in like this and get him centered up. And that looks pretty good. And then we're going to punch. And then we have our little turtle that's going to go on here. But he's going to kind of get lost in there. So we need a little bit of a black background. So we have this half a sheet of black left over. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to grab a die. And I'm going to get the Stitch So Sweetly I love, love, love the Stitch So Sweetly dies. This is one very versatile die set. If you need a good die set to have in your arsenal, this is definitely it. So I'm thinking I might want to put my turtle in this one on black. And then maybe we'll put the happy birthday on a black banner. Let's try that. So I'm going to just cut this out. And I love these because they're stitched. They're already got stitch lines in them, which will coordinate very well with the stitch lines on our card. So let's go ahead and run this through. And there we go. Flip the plate. Now I am starting to check to see if I'm getting any sponging here, and it's just beginning a little bit, but not enough to flip it yet. So I'm going to wait probably a few more die cuts through, and we will need to do that. So I want to pop my little turtle up on this and put it down to the bottom, sort of like that, and then we're going to do happy birthday across there, and we're going to use this little die. And I'm going to come right here on there, and I'm going to run that through. And what is so neat about this die, this all comes out in one piece, so we can set this right here, right over top of our little turtle. And we could always do the little hat if we wanted to. I don't think we need it, but I do want to clean this up a little bit more right in here. So it does have still a little bit of a tinge of green, but you know what? It's a whole lot better than it was, don't you think? Love, love, love the color lifter. It helps in any of the little mistakes that we can make along the way, and you know how easy it is. None of us are perfect, and we do make little blunders along our way. I do, and I always tell people, just because I do a YouTube channel definitely doesn't mean that everything I do is perfect. A far cry from it. I'm a crafter just like y'all are. I am going to grab a mini dimensional because I want to put a mini on each foot. Just something to make sure he stays in place. And I love these little mini dimensionals for that reason. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off. Just like that. And I do like to pick them all up like that because that way I'm not getting them all over my craft room and all over the house. These things seem like they end up everywhere. So we're going to put him about here. It's time to celebrate, y'all. So let's put that right about there. I like that coming down just a little bit. And that gives us room enough for our happy birthday. We could do happy birthday across here. We could do happy birthday right here. I am thinking I like the happy birthday right there, and I'll tell you why. I'm actually thinking that I'm going to cut another little piece out of white. Let's see if this will work. Alright, I'm going to show y'all how to extend your die. If you needed a longer die, but you didn't need it to be any wider than that, actually we do need it wider. I just realized that when I looked at my die cut piece, my happy birthday. Let's go in and grab this one. Oh, that'll work perfect, and we won't have to do anything. Love it. I'm going to take this white piece and I'm going to run this through. Let me get my little black crumbs off of my machine plate. And we are going to use this white piece this time, and I'm just going to put that in just like that. And that cuts out a beautiful little rectangle. And guess what we're going to do? We are going to put that rectangle to cover up our little mechanism. And you can very easily do that just by popping this up. So we're going to pop this piece up, but we're going to put our happy birthday on it first. And I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue. I am going to grab my silicone craft sheet because I don't want to get glue all over my desk. And you will definitely do that when you're using liquid glue. I don't care how careful you are. This way I can dab this ink all over the back of this. And I don't have to worry about getting it all over everything. I'm going to grab my tweezers to pick this up with because that will help me. And these are not Stampin' Up. I got these off of Amazon. This will help me to be able to place this exactly where I want it on here. Just like that. And then I'm just going to press it down. I'm going to set that over there to dry. And we are going to pop up this whole piece on dimensionals. Just like that. I don't like to skimp on these because if I run this through the mail, I want to know that it is going to get where it's going without any... Oh, that's so cute. What if we did that and then just pop it up over top of that? I think I'm going to do it separate. The reason for that is I want this to come down over the edge right here. Okay, and then I want this piece to tuck right here and go over the top just a little bit, but I'm going to put a dimensional here and here that will raise it up enough to go over top of that brad and cover that up. So we are actually covering up our workings by just using a couple of dimensionals. So I'm going to pick these up using my Take Your Pick tool. Y'all know that's my favorite way to wrinkle those up so I don't have them all over everything. I love that happy birthday. And that die is from the Birthday Chick die set. Look how stinking cute. And we could actually cut a couple of these little hearts in red and put around to match those hearts. Let's see how it looks when we get it. Friends Forever. There's our turtle. There's our bird. And Friends Forever. Is that not a cute little card? I love it. I do think I am going to cut some of these out of the red. So I'm going to grab a, let's see, I want my Regals, I want a real red, and I'm just going to grab a scrap. And look, I have a scrap where I had cut some other hearts at some point in time. So I'm going to put this die over here. And I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to do just a little bit of die cutting over here. What I'm going to do is just run through and cut out maybe about 3 or 4 of these little hearts, just like this. And we're just going to scatter them across the top. I think those will be so cute. They will kind of bring in everything together with the, and they come with this die set, which makes it so cute that we can cut these hearts out, and it's all part of our Give It a Whirl die set. And that is my feature item for today, even though we used a lot of other products. And that was something else. I had one of my subscribers that said that they liked the fact that I used a lot of different products on my cards. And I like doing that because I like to showcase as much as I can, and I like to coordinate different stamp sets and dies. I think it's so cute to do that, and it shows the versatility of Stampin' Up! And all of the beautiful things that they have. Why not use a heart? I don't know if it would mess with our mechanism. You know, we could put a heart on his back. Wouldn't that be cute? I wonder if that would go through okay and not hang up. That's only one way to try, isn't it? And I'll try it, and then y'all will know whether you should do it or not. So let's take that little heart, and I got some glue on him, and I'm going to stick him onto my Take Your Pick, and I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to put my little heart right there. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to put just a dab of my liquid glue, and I'm using my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to pick up a heart. Oh, how cute. I love this. I think the hearts really are adding so much to this. It just looked like it needed something. You know, when you have that card that just doesn't look quite done. And look what those hearts did. And let's see how our little mechanism works. Yep, works fine. How about that? Love, love, love this. And the bird looks cute. The Friends Forever looks cute. I love the way this turned out. And you still can put a white piece in here and stamp another sentiment. I'm not going to do any further with this today because my main concern today was to show you how to use the mechanism. And I think we did that, and we did it rather well. So, I am going to close off my video for right now. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank you for being a part of my YouTube channel. And if you are interested in picking up this die set, it is called Give It a Whirl. I will have the item number, the order number on the screen at the beginning when I first showed it, and I'll pop it up again here. It will also be in the description below, along with all the other products that I used. I hope that this was a helpful video. If you have purchased this die and wasn't quite sure how to use it, I hope this video has helped you as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Every subscriber counts. I love you guys so much, and as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy of our praise. And until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.